A plane crash off Western Australia's idyllic holiday island Rottnest off the coast of Perth has claimed the lives of 2 overseas tourists and the pilot. Aviation authorities are investigating the accident, while 3 other passengers pulled to safety from the water are recovering in hospital.
Tragedy in paradise. The seaplane plunged into the water soon after takeoff from Rottnest Island's Thomson Bay. Nearby holidaymakers scrambling to help.
We were fishing off field jetty and there was police that raced off, but we didn't know what it was.
About 5 minutes later, this guy on a centre console boat speeding towards us. He would look like he was about to hit us, but then he started shouting, "Oh, we need help." There'd been a plane crash.
There were 7 people on board. The bodies of 3, a Swiss woman, a Danish man, both in their 60s, and the 34-year-old pilot, James Wong, were recovered from the wreckage by police divers overnight.
The pictures would have been seen by all Australians as they've woken up this morning, and my hearts go out to all those involved.
4 people were rescued from the water and airlifted to Perth, including the partners of the 2 overseas visitors who died and a West Australian couple.
3 of those people are recovering in hospital, ranging from very minor injuries to a very serious hand injury.
Praise for witnesses from private boats visiting the island who rushed to the scene to help emergency services.
They put their own safety at risk to help complete strangers who were in desperate need.
In a statement, the charter company Swan River Seaplane says it's paused its services to focus on supporting the team and reaching out to the families of the passengers. It says up until yesterday's tragedy, it had a 100% safety record. Investigations are underway into what caused the crash. There were unconfirmed reports that the plane had hit a large rock, while the Australian Transport Safety Bureau says it had received reports the plane hit the water during takeoff. Grace Burmis, ABC News, Rottnest Island.
Authorities say in the coming days an investigation into the Rottnest aircraft tragedy will focus on recovering wreckage that remains 7 metres underwater. They also anticipate there could be hundreds of witnesses who may be able to help shed light on the sequence of events leading up to the crash.
What led to this critical moment will be the focus of the next 2 months of intense investigation.
The weather, the takeoff speed, the weight, the balance. There's a lot of things that are a standard part of any investigation like this.
Important clues still to be brought to the surface.
A fairly sizable portion of the fuselage, the engine and the cabin is still underwater, and that's expected to be recovered somewhere tomorrow morning.
Investigators want to speak to members of the public who witnessed the tragedy.
We'll be looking for witness statements. We know that there were hundreds of people here at Rottnest Island that potentially witnessed yesterday's events,
as well as the 4 survivors. Another important focus will be a review of maintenance records and the regulatory compliance of the operators and aircraft owners. Aviation safety expert Tim Collins reviewed the footage for the ABC for clues as to what could have gone wrong.
That's how you get the aircraft light on the floats, so you start to bring the nose up.
He says from looking at the video, it doesn't appear to be mechanical failure.
Essentially, the pilot potentially rotated too early with insufficient airspeed, and that's allowed the airframe or the wing to stall, and that's why it's dropped a wing and flipped into the water.
Mr Collins says the aircraft is commonly used and has a strong safety record.
They are both extremely reliable and very well tried and tested. The aircraft has been flying as a type for 40 years, so it's very well tried and tested.
It will be at least 2 months before a preliminary report will be available. The final assessment and recommendations of how to prevent such a thing in future are far longer time coming. Rebecca Trigger, ABC News.